Hello guys, so this is going to be a video explaining some of the facts for installing the Nest thermostat adapter for the minisplit. Alright, so I have a bunch of stuff here because I want to explain how you are going to achieve the installation. So I'm going to go through the facts that I have received through these months. One of the most important devices that you will need is the multimeter. So I have here a normal, very basic multimeter. We are just going to be using the AC voltage measure section. So yeah, that's about the multimeter. We will see the differences between the Nest thermostat Snow version, which I have here. And as you can see, here is the backplate. We will see the differences between the Nest thermostat third generation version. So I'm going to use one of those. And also the difference with an ecobee thermostat. As you can see, I have here an ecobee right here. So there are some questions that I have received about what is the difference, what is the actual board that I should choose in order for me to have a successful installation. First things first, what is the difference between the versions that are published? So this is the original Nest thermostat adapter, okay? This adapter is compatible with the Nest thermostat third generation, all right? It's also compatible with the Nest thermostat E, and obviously it's gonna be compatible with the Nest thermostat second generation and also the first generation. So answering your direct question, like what is the actual version of the Nest thermostat adapter I'm gonna choose? You're gonna go to the normal one. Why? Because it has the spaces here for screwing to the wall directly, as you can see. So it is 100% compatible with this size. All right. So this is the original version. The mini version that I did afterwards is compatible with the Nest thermostat Snow version. The Snow version is the most updated thermostat that you can find in the Google store. And as you can see, this Nest thermostat is smaller. Let me make the comparison here. So you are going to choose the mini version. All right. So it is fully compatible with the size and everything. And also, if you have an ecobee like the one that I have here, you will also find yourself choosing the mini version. All right. So the mini version attaches in the back and is 100% compatible with the size of the screws, as you can see there. All right. So this is about the compatibility. Okay. And another question that I receive a lot is, okay, so if I get the adapter, the mini adapter that has less wires, because it has less wires than the normal version, what are the cables that I am going to connect? All right, so the cables that you're going to connect here are marked directly on the board. As you can see, it has Y2, Y1, and it has here some cables that are connected. So in this is W1. So in this example, you're going to connect only the wires that are marked. For instance, this is the wire for Y2. So I'm going to go directly to Y2, connected. This is W2. And here you will see two additional cables. These two cables are connected to C. One is C, in this case, the black one. All right. So I'm going to connect this. And finally, RH. And that's it. This is how you connect it. All right. So you're going to plug this directly on the wall. All right. This is how you connect it. Same thing applies for the Nest thermostat, the version Snow, the small one. All right. However, in the Snow version, you are presented with less cables. That's the reason why this mini version has less cables. All right. So this one, which is marked as Y2, I'm going to connect it to Y. C, the one that we saw here. This is C. It has a C there. we're gonna connect it to C, and we have W. We're gonna connect W1 or W2, doesn't matter. In this case, for the mini version, we're gonna connect it to W, and finally the R is this one. All right. So this is how you connect the NES backplate. This is how it goes. All right. So this is the correct way of connecting. You have to make sure that all the cables are fully inserted and you don't have like a lot of spaces here that go directly to the top like this one. You have to make sure it stays as low as possible. Okay, so this is a correct connection. In the case of the normal size, obviously you have a lot more cables to connect, but all of the cables are labeled correctly here. For instance, Y1 is this one right here. How do I know that? Because if you look, it says Y1. So I'm gonna take this one, I'm gonna connect it, then I'm gonna go to Y2. So this is Y2, again connect it. Then I'm gonna go to W1, which should be this one. Okay, then I'm gonna go to W2. I'm gonna look here in the labels. As you can see, it says W2, so I'm gonna see what is the cable for W2. Is this one right here. There you go. And W2. All right, then we have 3 cables left. These 3 cables are, one is C, also is labeled here, C, 24 volts. Let me see, this one right here. All right, then I have RC and RH that are missing, so you were gonna see them. RC, this one is RC, and RH, and there you go. This is how you successfully connect everything. All right, this is how it is supposed to look. All right, okay, let's talk about the transformers. So in order to power the NES thermostat adapter, you need a transformer. There are several transformers. As you can see, I have 2 here. This one right here is very popular in the US market. It has some screws here, and as you can see, it is telling you that in fact these 2 connections, this one and this one, are the ones that are gonna give you 24 volts. So we are looking for the 24 AC voltage. So this is the 2 that we care about, all right, in this model. And there are other models such as this one that come with a lot of cables, and from one side you have 2 cables, from the other side you have 3 cables, and this is called central deviation, this one right here. So there are 2 that are gonna be the ones that we are gonna use, and you will make the difference because they are in the same color. And also you will find that in the description in the transformer you will see that it says output 24 volts. All right, this symbol means AC voltage. All right, my recommendation is that you might start with a transformer that is rated for 500 milliamps. However, you might not find it sometimes, so you can go up. It doesn't matter, it's okay. Actually, it's better. In my case, this is 1.2 amps, or it should be like 1200 milliamps, so this is okay. And we have also here a very similar in size, so this is also 1 amp in power, more or less. Okay, so another of the questions that I just received recently is, all right, so the output should be 24 volts AC volts, but what is the actual input voltage that should be in the transformer? It all depends on your electrical installation. So let's make that exercise ourselves here. In our case, as I said in the very beginning, we have our multimeter that is going to help us identify what is the actual voltage that we require. This is very important because if you're in a house that has 120 volts, well, if you already know that, then you are gonna make sure that your transformer is rated for input voltage of 110 or 120 AC voltage. All right, so this cable is now fully connected to the outlet plug, here in the wall. So I'm gonna measure this one just for you to see. If you don't know this number in your electrical installation, this is a very typical way of knowing exactly what's going on. So as you can see, in my case I have 126 volts, so I'm okay if my input voltage for the transformer is 127, for instance, in this case. So that's how you know what is the input voltage of the transformer. And if you have an electrical installation that is 220, then you will certainly buy a transformer that is capable of receiving 220 volts and outputting 24 AC voltage. All right, so that's it for the selection of the transformers. Remember, not all the transformers are small. Most of the transformers are actually big, and it all comes down basically to the rating of the power the transformer can handle. That's why my recommendation is that if you have the opportunity to start, I mean, if you can buy 2 transformers, like one small, like 500 milliamps, and that works for you, that's okay. If you try with the 500 milliamps and still you notice that there are a lot of restarts of the Nest thermostat, then you can for sure upgrade to a higher rated transformer. So let's do an exercise here. I'm gonna connect here. I'm gonna demonstrate you the output voltage of this transformer. All right, so I'm gonna connect this here, and I'm gonna connect this other cable here. These 2 cables are in the output, all right, in the output of the transformer. As you can see, I'm gonna connect these input cables, the ones that I have here, to the outlet or to the cables that you are going to install. So in my case, I'm going to connect to the cable that I already showed previously. So I'm connecting the cables, but still not connected to the wall. Just give me a second. All right, I'm securing everything so that they do not touch themselves. All right, everything looks to be connected, and let's power this transformer up. All right, now as you can see, the transformer is outputting 31 volts, so it's higher voltage than the originally from the manufacturer. Okay, even though it's okay. All right, doesn't matter if the output voltage is a little higher. What matters is that it's closer to the actual value that we need. So I'm gonna power this off. Okay, so now that we tested that our transformer is actually outputting the voltage that we want, we are gonna test our adapter. So I have here this adapter, and the first thing that we are gonna do is to fit the adapter. There are 2 cables that are pointing to the let's say to the upper part of the board. Okay, and basically these cables are always out. I usually ship these cables, the ones that are here, I usually ship them in this position so that you know for sure that this is the input voltage. And also you can see that there are some numbers there that tells you 24 voltage AC. So I'm gonna connect these 2 cables like that. All right, and what we are gonna see is that there should be a blue flash here. All right, so let me just ensure that nothing is touching. All right, so we don't want any damage here. So all right, everything is cool. Now let's connect again the energy. As you can see, it blinked. All right, so you're gonna just make sure that it stays connected a little bit. Let's wait for, I don't know, like for 5 seconds, and let's start to turn on our phones, because we want to make sure that there is a hotspot that this device creates. Okay, so I'm gonna be careful because it's powered on, and Wi-Fi. All right, this is the network switch 3 config that we are interested in. All right, the Nest thermostat adapter created this hotspot, and with this hotspot we are able to set the configurations, and we are actually making sure, now that we see this Wi-Fi hotspot was created, that everything looks to be working correctly. All right, so I'm gonna connect here, and remember there are other videos that I published, and in those videos there are more steps in how to configure everything and how to go step by step, and basically you will need to watch them if you want to go deeper in the configurations. Those videos are there for you to watch. And yeah, basically this is how we basically start the configuration. Then I'm gonna go to the site, and as you can see, you are now in the configuration mode. All right, so yeah, for the purpose of this video, let's try some remotes. I have here a remote control for an LG unit. All right, so we have here the scan remote. The scan remote is a very easy to use button because it allows you to detect exactly what is the model and brand of your minisplit if you want to configure it from scratch. All right, so let's scan it. So I'm gonna press here, and I'm gonna point it, and as you can see, it says I detected the brand. All right, this is an LG. Very good. It detected that this is an LG. So this is how you are gonna perform the configuration. Remember that you need to fully and successfully connect everything here. All right. So for instance, if I detected here and I test, all right, and you see that your minisplit started, it doesn't mean that it's ready to go. It just means that you set the configuration for the specific brand. All right. You will have to go to the next steps. So you can skip the 1A. You can skip the turn off or on a device using HomeKit, and then you cannot skip the choose network. You have to choose network because it uses some configurations that are needed for the HomeKit. So it needs the Wi-Fi section to create some security keys in order to make the communication, and basically this will be the process of the creation of the configuration. So moving on, let's say I already configure everything. I can put my phone away. I'm gonna turn off this one. Okay, it's already turned off, and there you go. Same thing applies. We can see that it is powering up again, this one as well, so everything is working. And basically this is the same procedure that you're gonna perform under a Nest thermostat mini version. All right, the mini version uses extra batteries, so not all the energy is taken directly from the adapter itself. You will need at the end to power the thermostat with a couple of batteries, right? Let's see. This is in German. All right, as you can see, it is telling me that this has connection with Y1, Y2, W1, W2. It is connected with C. It is connected with RH. However, it didn't detect the RC cable. All right. So for that, let's turn off again. I'm gonna turn off the main energy for you to see. As you can see, it is telling me like, all right, so there is no energy anymore. So we're gonna pull the cables, and we're gonna make sure RC is correctly connected. All right, so this is another trick I learned. Sometimes the Nest thermostat backplate needs, as I said before, to fully embrace the cable. So this little sensor, okay, and the sensor, even though the cable is inserted, needs to be fully in contact with the cable. So let's, as you can see, we have now fully detected, all right, the cable. So as soon as I connect again the main energy, remember to be very careful about how the cables are here. So I'm gonna power this Nest thermostat again, and there you go. As you can see, it is detected. All the cables are detected now, and yeah, this is ready to go, ready to be installed. So installation in the wall needs to be basically like what we have here, there is a transformer that should be behind the wall, all right? The smaller transformers heat quite a bit, all right? So you have to make sure that the transformer is not very heat, so you have to take your precautions, right? So the transformer leaves behind the wall, all right? And yeah, basically this is it. This is how you basically perform the installation. And if you have any additional questions, just let me know. I'm gonna try to upload a video explaining some of the normal common ways that I have found to solve some of these issues. So thank you guys.